Welcome back to Mind Trick Media. As you can see, no cake today. So today we're going to be covering, obviously, Andor and then Tales of the Underworld. So we're going to talk about Andor first, and I want to say some things first. One, I want to correct something from the last video, the video before. Not that I fully understood, but I understood what they were doing on Gorman and that they were mining the thing. I guess, misunderstood exactly what they were mining, and I just want to clear that up. They are mining some sort of mineral. And they need it for something. I'm assuming it's something for either A, the Death Star, or B, to fund some sort of energy.
I'm assuming the Death Star because they said something about the energy, like plan or energy something.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's what creates the beam that fucking destroys planets.
Probably.
So, wanted to clear that up. And two, I guess for these 3 episodes, I kind of went into looking at the show a different way, and I think it kind of like made me look at it different. So I kind of as like you guys saw if you watched it, and how they're doing it is they're doing a 3-episode year jump, 3-episode year jump, 3-episode year jump. And I'm starting to look at it more as, I don't even know how to explain it, like almost like it's one giant movie, but it's in parts. And you have to look at it in parts to not only understand what's happening, but also appreciate it. And so what that made me see with these last 3 episodes is because these are the 3 episodes we've been waiting for. Stuff's happening. We're finally getting here. We're finally doing this. And not that, like, I feel like we kind of shit on it last week especially, because I feel like they were going at a slower pace. And it's not that, like I know we talked about what other people have gripes with. There's people talking about how there's, like, the one scene that they didn't like. People are talking about how they feel that it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like, not that it doesn't feel like Star Wars, but, like, the way that some of the characters talk, and some of it just doesn't feel like Star Wars in a way. It feels like someone made a movie and it's like about Star Wars, but it's like, just, you know what I mean though? Like, the world feels different in this Star Wars, even though it's kind of the same concept as Rogue One. But even in Rogue One, I felt like it was still Star Wars. Whereas, like, the first 6 episodes of this, I didn't. It felt like, and it was because we just weren't anywhere that we knew, or like the stuff was so insequential that it was like, oh, whatever. But so, like, I guess I'm looking at it differently because I'm looking at the first 4 to 5 episodes now more of just like not filler, but like I don't know. I feel like I appreciate that they went slow now, because I feel like there's gonna be this ramp up, and we're already at a point, like, we're 2 BBY, I think. Like, and we're gonna time jump again, obviously, so it's gonna be 1 BBY. I kind of think they actually did a good job of showing us how quickly over the 4 years that the rebellion is making jumps. Because we've never really gotten that explanation of the time between 3 and 4, how the Empire jumps to this bit, but then how this rebellion jumps. So I'm kind of looking at it different, and the reason I think the first 6 episodes weren't what we wanted them to be was because they were taking this very methodical slowness of, like, well, 1 or 2 people were trying to do this, and, like, here's another, and then, okay, now we have this group of people that are willing to do this, and then now we have this group, and then this person, and then it's all coming to this scene where Mon Mothma gives this speech, and then it's like, we're, like, Cassian says, like, welcome to the rebellion, I think is what he says, and, like, it kind of swayed me a little bit of how I felt about the previous 2 weeks.
I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree with what you're saying, but dude, that middle, the 4, 5, and 6 episodes.
I think it was on purpose, though.
Well, yeah, because you got to get to the point where it's like, all right, like you got to take that little dip to where it can like get there, and they want to get there like aggressively. They want to get there and be like, bam, it's happening now, and like I get that, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you said, but like I don't know, I just feel like there was definitely parts in those episodes that I felt just like.
But I think the reason it's like that is because I think the moral of this, why they're doing it this way, is the like the saying that like I have friends everywhere. I think that's part of the purpose. They're showing us people who don't matter, but they somehow then like Cassian meets them, and they're using that as a way of being like, these people are everywhere.
You know what I thought was, sorry to interrupt you. You know what I thought was hilarious was right before Shrill died, Cassian was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
I had a good laugh out loud when he said that. Not gonna lie, I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious."
Yeah, and it's one of those things that like Cassian doesn't realize how many people know who he is, and that he's like, he can't just lurk anymore. But the only problem is it's being confined to like a few people, and then one of them just died.
Yeah.
So we have Dedra, and then we have the one, the person she reports to, and that's about it that knows about Cassian now. And by the like, okay, because I'm kind of talking, we'll get into the episodes, but like, I feel like they've actually done like, and don't get me wrong, when you haven't seen episodes 7, 8, 9, sounds weird, of Andor, it makes the first 6 seem like nothing. Because like in the moment they were. Like it was, in a sense, not going to use the word boring, but it was very little like we're checking IDs. We're seeing if these people are supposed to be here. This person's illegal and shit like that. You know what I mean? They're doing these little rendezvous where they're stealing little parts that seem like nothing, but they're to like break into somewhere or do that. So I don't know. I feel like it made what Mon Mothma do, like made her a better character for sure, because we got to see her. Just knowing what the other side was doing wrong just made her give the speech that she gave that starts this like Senate-wide rebellion without her even knowing like what she's getting into.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to watch the next 3 episodes. Like I told you before we started this, like I don't really know what to say at the moment. Like I think you said it perfectly. I don't really have any rebuttal to what you said. A lot more shit happened in these 3 episodes. The attack on Gorman, all the Gorman people just dying like that was crazy. Well, I was Shrill for a minute. I was like, is
that
like
his name?
I think it's Shrill.
Or it's Cyril. Cyril, I think is what she calls him.
Cyril? I don't know. Whatever.
Cyril, something like that.
I thought he was like, I didn't think once he was near Cassian, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. But for a minute, I thought he was like going to start like killing stormtroopers for a minute. I thought he was like done.
Yeah, he's such a weird, like I ended up like not hating him. Like, and that's the other thing too. I felt like him and Dedra were such like shit characters. And it's just because like I feel like they weren't like they're just weird. Like they're psychologically weird. Like she's a fucking psychopath. Yeah. And then he is just like this weird like independent fucking what's the word, like you're not outgoing. What the fuck is he?
Introvert?
Yeah, like an introverted weird like mama's boy thing, and then he fucking snaps. That was the best part of his character, is him fucking snapping.
I think so too.
And like The scene we were talking about in the trailer where Dedra's like choking, she's just by herself.
Having a panic
She's just
attack.
having a panic attack.
Somebody commented that on one of our, it was either a short or in the video, and I thought that was a weird scene. Like, oh my god, I just lost my boyfriend.
Well,
Like, I don't know. I don't understand, like, what she was doing there. Like, what was she having a panic attack over? Losing Cyril or the attack on Gorman?
I think all three.
All three.
Yeah. She also has to report that to her supervisor now that this thing's failing. She doesn't actually know exactly. I don't think she knows that the Gorman the thing's going to happen. Because like when they start firing, she's like, "What the fuck?"
There's no way they didn't know that that was going to happen because.
Well, he didn't. Cyril didn't.
Well, I know that for sure. I feel like she did.
I feel like she knew that if it came to it, it would happen.
See, I think she was only having a panic attack because of Cyril. To be honest,
We gotta figure out what his name is.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I honestly think she was only having a panic attack over like the situation with him. I mean, dude, he fucking grabbed her by the throat and started like choking her. And
Yeah, but she was like, it was weird because she was like, didn't seem like she was like that upset about it.
No, I think she was more upset that he just went out in the crossfires.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was upset about, which is the funny part.
Cyril. Syril. Cyril.
Cyril. Cereal.
But he finally like fucking snapped, and like I felt like that was like his best scene that he's had in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, "Nah, what you guys are doing is fucking. It's fucked up. Like this is fucking wrong. Like, why are you lying to your own people to hide shit?
Mm-hmm.
All because you don't want this propaganda against you." Like, and that's the other thing too. Like, I was watching, and just the way that they were using the like communicator stuff like that, it feels so Soviet Union to me. Like it felt so like 1980s, like looking at shit. But yeah, and then we see the main Gorman like leader, the one woman's dad. He's like breaking the fuck down because he's like, it's a fucking trap, which I thought was a good callback.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's a fucking trap. Get the fuck out of there. And like Cyril just beats his ass. I was like, what the fuck is going on? He throws his ass to the ground.
Well, he wanted to believe in what they were actually doing. Yeah. And then he finds out really quickly that that's not the case.
Yeah.
So, and then he snaps again. It's like, yeah. Yeah. And then I was kind of underwhelmed with how he died.
Who?
Cyril. I was kind of underwhelmed. Like, you get Cassian, they're beating the shit out of each other, and then all of a sudden it's like, who are you? And then he started lowering the gun.
But I think that's how he needed to die. We needed to see him realize that he meant nothing. He meant nothing to the rebellion, and he meant nothing to the Empire. And that's
fair.
Dedra, in this weird way, cared about him when, like, I don't know if she actually does or not, or she just thinks she needs to care. It's a very confusing relationship.
Turn the lights off.
But
turn.
I think that scene with Cassian, like, is a good, and then you see where the Gorman guy is like, well, fuck this dude. He fucking beat my ass. Kill him.
Well, I'm glad it was the Gorman guy and not like just a random shot. If it was a random shot,
I thought it was a random shot at first. I thought it was a stormtrooper shot.
Stormtrooper shot.
And I was like, damn, one of them hit. I was like, fuck, never mind.
No, I think it makes more sense that the guy from Gorman's the one that shot him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes it a little better in my opinion. And then with what you said, I mean, I guess, yeah, I agree. But
and I feel like it's another thing. I think another thing that they explain better now, and they kind of were getting to it in the other ones, is that the Empire has tons of spies, and they're just everywhere. And like we see the scenes in the last episode in the Senate on Coruscant, and there's like this thing, and then she just fucking kills the one guy that's working with for Alderaan and for Bail. Which that's still that casting, and like I read up on it. I guess the original actor just couldn't do it. It wasn't anything. It was just they couldn't do it. Which to me I wish they would have just used a different senator.
Apparently, it was like last minute too. Like he was good game the whole time until like the last minute.
Yeah, I wish they just won, and that's probably just were like needed him at that point. But I'm like, I wish they would have just filled in another one.
I think like they picked somebody that looked relatively close enough to the part.
Yeah, and that guy's famous. I can't think of what he's from, but I've seen his face before.
Yeah,
he's good.
I'm honestly not mad about it. I'm kind of actually glad that Bale was like involved with what was going on.
I'm
because I felt like it made sense.
Yeah, I just wish it was him.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, of course.
And it also correlates that like, other than it's also Princess Leia, like that's another reason why they destroyed Alderaan.
That was like our pre-example right there of how we're gonna have to deal with Balin being recasted. That was our first like.
Yeah, that's different.
I know it's different, but like that's like our first look at something that's like completely like gonna happen.
I mean, they've recasted before.
Usually though is for like a younger version of the character. So
well, no, I don't mean like that. They recasted the Emperor and redid those scenes. They recasted Darth Vader.
Well, Darth Vader's different.
well, fucking. We've all seen the clips of Prowse doing it. That would not have been great. Like, that was a good executive decision to not have that. You're part of the Rebel Alliance. But, yeah. I'm trying to get everything out that I want to talk about before we talk about the last episode more with Mon Mothma.
I mean, Gorman was the biggest thing I think we covered. Yeah, we're good to talk about Mon Mothma now.
Well, okay, I was going to cover the first part of the episode. So, they've fully developed Yavin now. Mm-hmm. They were already on Yavin in the episodes before, but a year later, it's like actually the base now. With Guerrera and them, and then that's like the plan to send Mon Mothma, which obviously makes sense. Yeah, so it's kind of weird though. I don't remember if I haven't seen Rogue One in a while. Is like Cassian on Yavin in Rogue One? Do you know?
I'm trying to think of the first time we see him in the movie.
I feel like he might have been at the beginning.
He was in the beginning of the movie. So they're with the girl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd go to Yavin. And that's where.
Because they have that K.
I think I've only seen the movie one time.
I've seen it like 3 times.
I think I've only seen it once.
Really?
To be honest, yeah.
But yeah, so they have Yavin developed, and then we get the scenes with Cassian wants out, like badly, and like I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean he's done so much to get it to this point that it's like he's like ready to retire.
Yeah, and like you can kind of see this weirdness with Bix like the entire time.
Yeah,
where she's just like about it, and then we get these scenes where he meets back up with Luthen, and they're talking on Coruscant, like, hey, like we got to figure this out. We got to get Mon Mothma out. She's supposed to be making this speech. And then we find out there's like these listening devices, and they're listening to the center. Like this shit is like we obviously knew that because we've also like read books and like other shit. Like they were super like listening devices, listening. Like that's even in like even after the 6th movie and in between the 6th and 7th movie, there's like listening devices fucking everywhere. Like, it's like a minefield once the rebellion wins and they start this new republic. There's shit, like, they have to go through tons of shit because, dude, the Emperor and the Empire were just putting listening devices and shit everywhere. But, how'd you feel about Mon Mothma's speech?
I thought it was crazy that it kept cutting to them. They wanted to take the power out of the entire fucking building just to get her to shut up. I don't even know. I don't know what to say.
It's one of those things that like, cause so like the Gorman thing, like we kind of knew before this show started that if like Gorman was involved, like the recorded history of Gorman is something you could have seen before Andor. Like we knew the Gorman massacre was going to happen, and Mon Mothma gives this speech.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this was like that part, and this is why I think these 3 episodes were so like. This reminds me of the first season of Andor. And we're getting these behind the scenes look at things, and we have this scene where, and then even at this point, like Luthen knows that there's a spy in Bail Organa's team, and basically he sends Cassian in as like this escape for Mon Mothma because they know they can't lose her. And one thing I will say with this whole thing, we haven't talked about her family at all in the last the last 6 episodes. So I wonder if they'll ever recorrelate that. Cause I know her and her husband were like, wasn't the greatest relationship, but then like she married, like her daughter got married off and stuff like that. So like they keep talking about stuff like that, but they don't actually like bring those characters back. It's a little weird, but
I think they're gone for.
Yeah, I don't think
we'll see him again. I think Mon Mothma is going to go to Yavin, and that's just going to be the end of it.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. With Luthen, he like obviously they meet up, and then Cassian's going through all these things and is in that one thing. Did you did you think that like maybe at any point that Luthen's sources were wrong and that there wasn't going to be like an IBS spy?
I don't think he's ever been wrong about something.
Well, morally wrong for damn sure, but wrong. He's pretty spot on. Yeah. His spies are fucking good.
I want to know where he's getting this information from.
I mean, dude, he knows people everywhere.
They keep saying that shit.
He's not fucking kidding.
Clearly.
I mean, he's got people. He's got multiple people in Coruscant. He's got people in Yavin. He's got people in Alderaan. He's got people here. He's got people there. He's got people everywhere. And they know more information than the people who are giving people information.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. There has to be somebody like close to the situation, because otherwise it'd be just like, all right, they got in, they got out, they said what they said. Like, there's no way it wasn't going to be something trying to stop them or someone trying to stop them. So no, I thought he was 100% correct. I didn't doubt him for a second.
Yeah. Dude, a scene I thought was super interesting was the IBS like spy driver for her. Like, he kept being like, well, I'm worried. I could do this. Like, he was in a weird spot of, like, liking Mon Mothma, but, like, needing to do his job. And, like, so he runs up the steps, and Cassian's like, what's his name? And he, like, starts yelling his name out. And I'm like, Cassian's going to kill this motherfucker.
We need to get her to safety. Boom!
I'm like, he's going to kill this motherfucker. And then kills him. And I'm like, yeah, kind of had to happen.
Scared the shit out of Mon Mothma.
Yeah, dude, she's so like has no clue what's going on. But
it finally hit her that this is reality.
Yeah, like you ruined quickly. The life that you had.
Yeah, it happened really quickly for her. Yeah. Dude, Bix.
So okay, before we get to that, so then they go to the safe house.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We have these scenes and. I thought a really good scene was also... This is weird. I feel like they could have ended the show where it ended. Like, I don't... Like, it doesn't need 3 more episodes.
Yeah. I mean, going to Yavin and then it just going to Rogue One. I mean, I don't really know what they're doing after that.
I don't know exactly, but like...
Unless it just shows the stuff that happens on Gorman, probably... And then getting to Yavin, probably. Obviously.
Yeah, we'll probably get an end scene where it's like the last bit of shit they're mining and they're putting it into the Death Star, shit like that. But yeah, like we have this scene where like Mon Mothma tries to thank Cassian, and she's like, well, I don't know what I could do to like repay you, and he's just like be the rebellion. Like
we need to win.
we need to win. Like help us win, and like yeah. And then so he goes back to Yavin, stuff like that. We get the whole Bix thing. I was trying to figure out a way how they killed her. Because she's not in Rogue One.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to figure it out too. I was like, she's got to go eventually.
Something's got to happen. And I guess they chose like a way to not kill her, but to get rid of her.
It's not surprising because of everything that she went through with the psychological shit that they did to her and her finally getting free of that. Like, she just needs to, like, go.
It's not even just that. She's leaving because she knows that if she doesn't, Cassian will not fight.
Yeah.
And they need Cassian to fight. Or at least they think
Well, that too, but at the same time, like, yeah, she needed to.
I was covering my face.
She needed to go.
Yeah.
And, like, she needed to go do things for her. And she needed Cassian to fight. They need Cassian to fight. I think they actually did it in, like, the best way they probably could have.
Without killing her.
Well, I mean, with the story actually making sense, too.
Yeah, honestly, I think they came up with maybe a better way.
Yeah, because
killing her would have just pissed me off.
Like it sounds like what you're saying. We just fully expected to watch her die.
Yeah.
And I thought the same.
Yeah, I thought they would have already killed her. I thought they were going to kill her with, like,
I thought
the
it was
drug
going to be.
scenes.
I thought I was going to be in this arc where she was going to die.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be the drug scenes. I think she was. Not saying I was thinking she was going to get her revenge, but like kind of, because they kept they kept reiterating it, and I'm like, I could see it, and then, yeah, I think they did the best thing they could have. It fucking sucks for Cassian, but I like Bix. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, I wonder if that was Luthen's idea.
I don't think so.
You think she just dipped?
I think she just dipped.
I wonder if they'll ever do anything like. I wonder if they'll show us where she went in the next 3.
I think she's done. I think she'll be done. I think Mon Mothma's family's done. I mean, I just think that they're not going to come back. I just think, well, what's the point? They've committed to this life already. Mon Mothma's committed. Cassian was forced to be committed, so now he's there.
Yeah. I mean, he's not forced. He could dip.
I mean, yeah.
The problem is he wanted to dip with Bix, but she already dipped.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's don't look back, move forward. And I think that's how the rest of the show is going to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely a lot better. Excited.
Yeah. These are the best 3 episodes of the season. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Not even,
I can't wait. There's probably some
even
people on here
close.
being like, this sucks. I loved when they were like, just being secretive and like
turn the lights off.
I loved all the Death Star scene or the Empire scenes with these 2 characters, but yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely like his character a lot better. I still don't like Dedra. I don't care. Like she has to do something in these next 3 episodes. I was hoping Cassian killed her so bad.
Sniped right in the head.
Yeah. What a great plan, by the way. We're just gonna try to fucking kill this bitch.
We're gonna assassinate her right in front of everybody.
Yeah, it's a great idea. You know what would have also caused the Gorman issue? Him sniping her.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we can pivot. Tales of the Underworld.
So I saw your text last night. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it on here.
I think there was one bad scene in the show, and it's the first scene.
I disagree. So I want to talk about it. So I get a text message last night. I'm 2 minutes into the show, and they completely retcon a book. I want you to tell me what you mean by that specifically, because I want to talk about this for a second, because we've covered this book. You can look on our older episodes.
They ruined how she died, and I don't like it.
I don't think they ruined how she died. It takes away the only thing that I'll say that made me a little upset is it takes away how upset we got in the book watching her die.
Yeah, the book doesn't the back 15 20 minutes of the book means nothing.
It doesn't mean nothing. She chooses to come back to life from the Night Sisters' magic.
Yeah, but
I think if anything, well, first of all, it makes sense for why the hell she's in the
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They retconned it to make it make sense.
I don't think retcon's the right word, because I don't think it takes the story.
She dies.
Okay, the story
they bring her back in a different thing.
The story that happens in the book, nothing changes. This doesn't do anything to that.
It means less for Obi-Wan and Quinlan, and
they don't know though. They can't know.
Yeah, but I do.
But the issue is, and the cool thing about it is that she gets to help Jedi now go to the path that Quinlan created. She's helping. That's as close as she can get to Quinlan from here on out. And
yeah, I also don't know what that means. The Mother Talzin's like, you can go back, but you can't have the thing you most desire, which is Quinlan. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Because I thought that meant that like they were trading lives. Do we have a confirmed Quinlan death?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because like he gets mentioned for making the paths.
Right, he created the paths. We get to see that, and I'm pretty sure that's what we get to see in Obi-Wan.
It is.
So we get to see that in Obi-Wan, which is I liked the connections that they made. Yeah, sure, it takes away, like we talked about it at the end of the book. It was really sad with Ventress's death, Quinlan's emotion over it, even Obi-Wan being low-key, like he didn't show it physically, but like mentally he was emotional over the situation. And I get where you're coming from in an aspect that it takes away from that, but I think if they were going to do it, they already brought her back in the Bad Batch, which made no fucking sense.
That I felt like they just went out of their way to be like, oh, fuck, we shouldn't have done that. We got to figure out how to fix it.
And I think they did the best thing they could. And I think it's good.
You know what the best thing they could have done was?
I get it.
Not fuck it up from the get-go.
I get it, but I think it's good.
So, okay, so now if we do a Tales of the Clone Wars and they show this scene and they retcon the way Yaddle died in the other one, and she survived. Like, what if they double kill her?
I think the difference is we get the Night Sisters' magic bringing her back to life. That's the difference there. It would be a completely different story if Yaddle just fucking came back to life or didn't die that way and then dies a different way. That's completely different, and I that's different. You have Night Sister magic, and we all love Night Sister magic. Like, come on. I think
I just wasn't. It was a bad way to start.
Listen. When it started, for a minute I was mad, and then I sat there and I accepted it because I'm like, Night Sister magic is fucking powerful. I don't know what I'm thinking is gonna happen, and then all the connections with the path with Quinlan Voss and all that shit that they did. I'm actually I like it.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does.
Because we're never going to see her use that.
I mean...
Because she dips out with this younger Jedi who we have no fucking clue who it is. They never say his name.
Yeah, they did.
What was it?
I don't remember. But they did,
not notable.
They did say his name. It was a random survivor of Order 66.
So, like... Yeah, and then we see her down the road with the Bad Batch, which they don't explain. I've said it's never going to get explained.
I understand that there's...
I feel like there was more meaning in her being dead than there was for them bringing her back.
I don't disagree to that.
And
the problem I have with it is, like you said, we don't have anything from the end of this until we get to see her in the Bad Batch, and then we have nothing after that. And it's like, all right, what is her role? Her role is to get people to the path, but like, are we ever gonna...
Is it?
That's the role she's created for herself.
Kinda. She brought that kid to the path. There's no talk of her bringing more people to the path.
That doesn't mean that she's not gonna help.
But why would she?
Because that's as close as she can get to Quinlan.
That's a terrible life to live.
Yeah, she chose to come back to life after dying when she knew she knew the repercussions of it.
I don't think she actually did.
I think she did.
I think she spoke too soon.
I think
she should have died.
She
should have told Mother Talzin no.
I'm not.
Yeah, dude, and so that's the, like...
I'm not saying, like, her staying dead, it would have been better. It would have made the book mean more, like you said, and I understand that, and I agree. And
it makes Quinlan... Because Quinlan only goes and does that because of that.
Yeah, but now they're with the way that
No. But he only defects and survives Order 66 because of his relationship with her. And then goes, wow, I should really help these people that I fucking did wrong, so I'm going to do this. And he helps all these people, and he's doing it because the love of his life died, helping and saving him. If he ever were to find out, it means nothing. And, like, yeah, he can't find out, because, like, whatever Mother Talzin did, he literally just can't find out.
I'm assuming that's how it is.
But that doesn't make no sense. Can they never run into each other?
fucking Night Sister magic could prevent him from seeing
And
her.
what that kid, if she does help more people and she goes, my name's Ventress, because she told that kid, if they go down the path and they end up meeting Quinlan Voss and go, oh, Ventress, he's going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
You're adding things that could make a problem. Sorry for interrupting.
No, and I get that, and I'm more curious about that as well. I want more of it because I want to see where the hell they're going with it. I think it would be cool if she was helping getting Jedi there. Granted, the Jedi that
I just don't know why she would care.
Because she cares about Quinlan, and she knew that Quinlan
But she
wanted.
don't care about Jedi.
But she knew Quinlan wanted that because he created it.
She assumes that. She doesn't
was told
know.
That. She was told that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, she doesn't know that someone told her that Quinlan was doing it.
Doesn't mean anything.
There's less connection than if he told her.
Well, he's not going to be able to tell her.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I feel like there was a weird scene where she, like, wakes up, and it's been, like, definitely some time has passed. She wakes up where she was left by Quinlan. I don't know how much time has passed, but I feel like Order 66 has already happened.
She, like, wakes up on Dathomir?
Yeah.
She got up on Dathomir when they were walking out of the cave that they were in.
No, but when she finally chooses to go back, she, like, when it actually snaps, she wakes up and she's in that area, but it's not the same place. It's the same place, but it looks different. Like, there's nothing above them anymore. It's not underground. It's just out and it's dried up.
I don't remember that specifically.
When they go in, there's like these glowing
No, I know what you're
blue
talking
pools.
about.
And when she wakes up, there's no blue pools.
I
and
don't
everything's
remember the waking up
ruined.
scene specifically, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying. If it seems like they brought her back after Order 66 had already happened, which happens very quick after the shit with Quinlan in the book. Excuse me. But like I don't know. Like I feel like it was unnecessary.
I don't think it was unnecessary because they had to they had to show how she was alive.
That's what I'm saying. It's an unnecessary backtrack because you fucked up from the beginning.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But with how they did it and what they did.
Because they could have just used Quinlan Voss as the character in Bad Batch. And be like, I've created this path for... It would have made more sense. They could have just used Quinlan. Unless he has a confirmed death, but the way they're doing it, he's not confirmed death in any movie or book that I know of, so then he's not dead. He's not had a death scene. Because comics and old shit of us, it doesn't matter. Obviously. That's the only thing I'm saying. Is like, I feel like they had to make this part of the show only because they had to backtrack. We're currently looking up to see if there is a death scene. Yeah, other than that, like I thought her
he's
scenes
still alive.
As of when? Just
As
there's
of-
no death.
As of right now, there hasn't been a confirmed death.
That makes it even more annoying because they could have just used Quinlan in the Bad Batch.
I don't disagree. I think with what they did, obviously they fucked up and had to backtrack. I think with them fucking up and them backtracking, I think they did the best thing they could have. I think it makes sense. And I think it's like nice in an aspect of where she's like, if she is doing that, which she tried to with the kid, and then obviously if she continues to do that moving forward, and maybe that's what she was doing with Omega, to see if Omega was actually force sensitive and needed to get her out. If that's actually what she's doing, I think that's actually like, it's heartbreaking because that's the closest she can get to Quinlan. And
That's
I think
what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me that she would never, Quinlan wouldn't have heard word of it if she's been doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me because
maybe there's a Night Sister spell that we don't know about.
yeah, but so like does that kid that was with her just forget that it's Asajj Ventress? And that, like, if he ever goes down the path and anybody... I don't know how that doesn't get back to him. Personally. But, yeah. I don't know. Like you said, it's the best of what they could do. And I think it would definitely was a backtrack job. I think Filoni did it, by the way. Right? Filoni did this, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I guess... That was the best. Like you said, like it's probably the best backtrack they could have done.
And I think it's the best backtrack they could have done and the best meaning they could have with what they did. Like, yeah, I'm a little upset now that we have a gap between this and the Bad Batch, and then a gap. When does she actually die? Maybe she is still technically dead, and she's just roaming among the living with Night Sister magic.
No, they know it's. She looks like the one guy recognized her.
Yeah.
So like that's not
know.
the case either.
I don't know what fucking shit Mother Talzin just did. Who fucking knows what she did, dude? But I think they did the best thing that they did with them, like doing what they did with the Bad Batch and shit like that. It makes sense with an aspect of maybe she was trying to see if Omega was force sensitive to get her to the path.
I just feel like it's a stretch, and it's not like it's something that was like not recent. Like the comic of Yaddle was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And like they retconned it because it's like like you said, it is a difference. They retconned like a death and like they never show it to us. It's whatever. There's not an actual visual of it happening, but like that book came out like 3 years ago, didn't it?
It came out in 2015.
The book? That was a lot fucking further away than I thought.
Yeah.
But so 2015, right?
2015 to about 2022.
Yeah, like
2023. Whenever Bad Batch came out with her in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
For those of you that don't know what we're referring to the book Dark Disciple. It's about Quinlan Voss and Asajj Ventress. They like team up, try to assassinate Count Dooku, and they end up falling in love and this and that. And obviously, we spoiled the end of the book already. She dies at the end of the book, which leads us to where we are with Tales of the Underworld, and that's like the first scene.
Well, I mean,
the first scene
if they've seen the show, it's spoiled that she died.
Well, right, I guess. The first scene in Tales of the Underworld is the last scene in Dark Disciple. So if you guys don't know the book, you can go look at our old version of it on one of our videos so you can get an idea of the story, what's going on, and then you guys can interpret. You guys can comment on whether you think it was bad or not. I mean, if you guys have seen The Bad Batch, you've seen Tales of the Underworld, and you're curious, go watch the Dark Disciple video to figure it out, what you think about the situation. So... Colby Bane. Dude, they said Colby. I laughed out loud so hard.
I thought this half was 100 times better. And this feels like what the first Tales have felt like. We legitimately have some sort of like origin story of a character in the build-up.
I still think I liked the first half of Tales of the Underworld a lot more than you did. I really...
Well, Tales of the Empire sucked.
Tales of the Empire did suck.
Tales of the Jedi was fantastic.
Yeah. I liked the beginning of Tales of the Underworld. I know we just talked about all the issues that it may or may not cause. I thought it was really good. The fighting scenes were good.
Nothing about it, just watching it was bad. If you don't know about Dark Disciple, it was great.
I still think it was pretty good.
I'm being nitpicky about story.
I still think it was pretty good considering what they did with the Bad Batch and stuff. But I do agree, the backstory of Cad Bane and how he gets up to where he is, I really enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah.
Like how he was like he was a kid with no family. He's just
street rat.
Yeah, street rat they called them. Going through trash to get food. Yeah. And then the bounty hunter with his hat that looked like Cad Bane.
Well, I thought that was Cad Bane.
Well, for I was watching it, and I was watching it with Sean, and I was sitting there, and I was like, he's like, is that Cad Bane or is the kid Cad Bane? I was like, I don't know. Nobody's talked yet.
Like, I think the kid. I kept being like, I think that's the kid, but like that guy looks a lot like. Yeah. And then he talked. I'm like, kind of sounds like him too.
Nah, he talked, and I was like, there's no way that's Cad Bane. Yeah. But.
Well, I didn't know because of all the tubes and the age if he like does get different. I mean, dude, the toothpick and hat was crazy.
And then they said Colby, and I was like, I started laughing really hard. I was like, ain't no way his name is Colby. But yeah, seeing the rise of him becoming working for bounty hunters, like he helped this guy like attack this other guy, whatever the hell they were doing. I don't even know if it really ever said what they were doing.
What part are you talking about?
When they went through the candy store to the back room and stole all their money.
They
and
were
shit.
doing similar business, and so the Cad Bane lookalike was robbing him.
Yeah.
He didn't have his business.
Okay. But yeah, and then him just taking Colby and basically raising him to be a bounty hunter. I thought that was awesome. Dude, his best friend stealing his girl. Crazy.
So he didn't. I don't know if you caught that. They got married to hide the fact that that baby isn't his. The baby.
I mean, it has to be Cad Bane's.
It's Cad Bane's kid.
It has to be.
They didn't actually love each other.
I mean,
that was
dude,
the thing.
They were both green and he was blue.
Yeah.
So I mean, that has to be Cad Bane's kid, right? There's no way.
Yeah. So it's not that he stole his girl. He was protecting the child.
He still kind of stole his girl.
I mean, yes and no.
Yes and no. Like, no for like what it sounded like I meant, but yes at the same time. But dude, the standoffs that they had.
I didn't think he was gonna kill him at first.
I did. I thought he was gonna kill a kid for a minute. I was like, ain't no way. He's just gonna kill everybody here. The standoff.
Dude, no one gave a fuck either. They were like,
Yeah.
we're not getting into this shit.
Dude, the standoffs they had were sick.
Motherfucker's quick.
Yeah. Dodging bullets and then both guns. Like, he literally, in the one scene, dodged the bullets when he killed the marshal. Dodged the bullets and then still, like, he was just casually.
Yeah, dude, I thought the Cad Bane stuff was really good.
It was good.
Yeah, dude.
This was way better than Tales of the Empire. Not even
Tales of the Empire was bad.
Not even a debate.
I don't like Tales of the Empire.
And then I don't think this was as good as Tales of the Jedi, but it was pretty damn
I think
good.
Cad Bane's story goes up against the other two. I think the first half is definitely the worst of the four, like different sets. I think it
The
goes
Ventress stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think it goes
Dooku. I think Dooku's
Dooku.
Ahsoka. I think
Ooh,
Ahsoka.
I might like Cad better.
I think Ahsoka because the training stuff basically.
That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
I think Ahsoka's too. I think it has to be. So what I think about
Ahsoka
what I think
Cad.
about Cad Bane versus Ahsoka, I think the first episode with baby Ahsoka. Not that there was anything wrong with it because I thought it was really good, but I think the Cad Bane stuff is better than all of the Cad Bane stuff's better than that first episode. But I think the other two episodes mean a hell of a lot more.
Oh no, I like the baby episode. I thought it was a good callback to the Clone Wars. Of them finding her with
Okay, then
Plo
I
Koon and
definitely
stuff.
think if you think that, then Ahsoka's definitely better.
I thought I was saying it was like teetering because I liked the beginning half of Ahsoka better than the second half.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, I still think I
guess it's better because we both think both ends are good.
Right. I think the middle part of Ahsoka just carries it no matter what. It was that good. So it's like, all right, like
I think
the
it's
other
just
two,
recency. I just like Cad Bane a lot.
I think Cad Bane's story is definitely third.
Dude, I feel like with Tales of the Empire and then the Ventress thing too, I feel like they were pacing weird. The stories feel paced wrong comparatively to the other ones. Like, I feel
The
like
other ones had huge time jumps, and these ones, I mean, they still had time jumps.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But like the pacing of how, like they tell the three different stories, and like
in the three different episodes within one.
Yeah.
story?
So like for example with Ventresses, like dude, we were on this fucking camel in the desert for way too long. The fucking Tales of the Empire, that was all it fucking was long shit drug out.
Yeah.
But like with Cad Bane's, it was like we're bouncing into this story, and then this happens, we bounce to this, we bounce to this, and we're still time jumping, but it's like up and down versus like time jumping this way, like just straight. I don't know.
I don't really think there was anything wrong with either way that they did it.
I just feel like Tales of the Jedi and then Cad Bane stories were better.
Yeah.
And they were like written better too.
Yeah, I thought the first episode of Ventress, all things considered, like the pacing was really well, and then the second and third episode were kind of like, what the hell happened? It kind of like
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Not necessarily pacing, the spacing of the shit we
No, I
want to
getcha.
see. That's a better way.
No,
the
I getcha.
spacing of the episode.
Yeah, the first episode of Ventress was like we're getting to the point, shit happening.
Like the whole thing in the middle of with Ventress, and we're going this water scene with the tribe, and like I was like, we're making amends with a separatist leader that we hated.
Well, since we're back on that topic, because I feel like we were getting close to ending the episode, but back on that topic, when the separatist like leader guy or whatever the hell he was, when he said we were right during the Clone Wars, I thought that was a wild statement. Because realistically, if you think about it, the Republic is what became the Empire. So the separatist eyes think that they were right during the war.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy. I never even really considered that.
I know, like, I don't know where I've read. I knew that. It was that was one part I did enjoy seeing. That.
Yeah, he was like, just like,
and I also loved Ventress's comeback of.
Yeah, I did.
Neither side was
right.
Right,
because Ventress obviously got to see both sides of what was
same
happening.
thing with Maul.
Yeah, and but I thought it was crazy. He was like, the separatists were right during this entire war, and I was like, that's crazy. I don't know.
Dude, he thinks that.
Yeah.
The only thing he knows is that, well, to him, the Jedi, the Senate and the Republic found the Jedi guilty, which is who they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, these people that were killing us, they were wrong, see? Mm-hmm. And then they became this empire that now hates us, so see, we were right. And then, like, it makes total sense that he thinks that he was right.
It was crazy. I was sitting there and I was like, whoa, like, damn. It was a hell of a realization. But overall, I thought it was good. I don't think it was as good as Tales of the Jedi. Fucking Jesus, Tales of the Empire. But I thought it was really good. I was happy to watch these. I was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dude, and it seems like we might be getting one of those like every year to 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only a matter of time before we get Tales of the Sith. There's got to be.
It's so tough. I think they need. I think they need that step down to happen first.
Oh. But what I think will happen with Tales of the Sith is, like, Palpatine.
We'll probably get a Palpatine and Plagueis story.
Right.
They'll visualize that.
I think the top candidates are Palpatine, Plagueis. If they want to do Vader content.
I think those are mixed.
Okay.
And then, to be honest,
I'm just saying in general.
The thing that we're saying about Tales of the Sith, we are not going to get Tales of the Sith that we want.
No.
And not in the bad way, because I would love a Palpatine Vader one. Don't get me wrong.
The only thing... So, Palpatine, Sidious. Palpatine, Plagueis, Vader, and I think it's a stretch, but I think it's possible because of the Clone Wars. Possibly Bane.
I don't have enough time.
I don't think they will, but it's possible.
They could not shove that into 3 16-minute episodes.
I completely agree. I hope not because we've talked about it because Bane deserves a lot more than that. But
I'm so cool with the Senator Young, Naboo, Palpatine, into meeting. So that's the first episode, and like at the end he meets Plagueis. The second episode is them doing these experiments and all this shit, and the third episode is them seeing Anakin on Coruscant when he's a kid, and then like him assassinating him that night.
Yeah, same.
I could see that.
I agree. I still think it's
Vader.
I still think it's a possibility though. It's like, so those are the 4 people that are the only ones that are possible in my opinion. I don't think Maul doesn't make sense.
Well, he's getting his own show. He's
getting his own show. The only thing that would make sense with Maul is if we see him like before the first movie, which I'm
kind of hoping we get an origin in the Maul show.
But I don't think we will because I think
like flashbacks.
Maybe. But like you're already giving Maul his show. Like there's no way.
Yeah, there won't be Maul.
But I think those are the only 4 that are possible. Unless we get like a...
Dude, I mean, people know Revan.
Unless we get like a... See, I think it has to be stuck with canon. Like, I guess...
Revan is canon.
Technically, yes.
Book 9.
Technically, yes. But I think it would be them, maybe even like Kylo.
Oh my god. Do you think they would retcon Plagueis and they would do like a Plagueis one and it would be about how the Acolyte goes into it?
Maybe.
What were you saying?
Kylo.
Oh.
Kylo before.
Well,
Kylo like with Luke and stuff like that.
Is he a Sith?
I guess it would be like, or it's like Count Dooku, like becoming a Sith. That was a Jedi.
I know, but like they never were Sith.
Okay, but I still think
You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I still think like that's a possibility. We'd get young Kylo to where Luke betrays him, and then he like gets to that point with Snoke.
I really hope that. I honestly would rather just give me another Vader thing. Give me Vader going to see Padme's death scene.
Yeah.
Give
I
him
think
killing
I think it'll be Plagueis.
Ooh, dude.
I think it'll be Plagueis Palpatine, like you said, and then probably
3-episode
Vader.
arc Vader. I want going to see Padme's burial. I want Jocasta Nu in the library hiding scene. What's the third one I want? We can't do the raid of the Jedi jail. That would be too long.
It's got to be something between.
Maybe it's the scene where he finds out he goes to the medical bay where he sees Padme give birth and finds out he has 2 kids.
He doesn't know he has the 2 kids though.
But he finds out
Because Palpatine, well, technically,
he goes to confirm it in a comic.
Technically, Boba Fett told him about Luke Skywalker.
That's the comic I'm talking
in the
about.
comic,
And then,
he goes to Palpatine.
Yep, and then he goes to the medical bay. Any of those would be cool.
I don't know. I think those are the only possible like things though.
Tales of the Clones.
That's also a
I
possibility.
just realized there's a Clone Wars, but like Tales of the Clones would be cool. We could see how Tyrannus picks Jango, and then we could see
Cypher Diaz. Cypher Diaz put in the order.
that would be part of that. That'd be the first.
That would
one.
actually
would
be
be the Jango Fett story.
That would be able to put Cypher Diaz on the screen. We see him for like a millisecond in the Clone Wars.
What would be the second half of that? What clone could we pick? Because they do a lot of clones, so we'd have to be careful here.
It would have to be somebody specific.
Because you can't really do Wolf, you can't do Rex, you can't do Cody.
Yeah, it would.
I don't think you can do any of those.
It would
guys.
have to be.
You can't do Bad Batch, obviously.
It would if it's Cody or Wolf. I don't think it would be Rex. Colby. Cody or Wolf are 2 that I think could happen. It would be post Order 66.
I think only Cody would work.
I think
Wolf we get enough of.
But we could see how Wolf, or we could get Rex and how he gets to where he's at with Wolf and Gregor.
Ooh, you know what we could do? We could do Commander Cody, and it could be an arc of the phase out of the clones into stormtroopers.
All right, we need to get off. We're just
rambling. Yeah. So
Andor's picking up. Nice to see it. Glad finally to see it. I'm actually excited for the last 3 now. It was having me waver for a second. I'm excited though. And then, I thought Tales of the Underworld was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I have the gripe. And it kind of like, I'm not going to say ruins that whole arc for me, but like immediately I was just pissed. But so it's been Mind Trick Media. See you guys.